How much water did you drink yesterday? 2 glasses, 3, maybe a full bottle? Most men over 50 will say, I drink plenty. I stay hydrated. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If you're past 50, plain water may be doing far less than you think. Yes, it keeps you alive, but it may not be keeping your blood flowing. That's why so many men wake up tired, feel heavy in the morning, notice colder hands and feet, or feel their energy fade faster than it used to. It's not because you're drinking too little. It's because after 50, water without minerals has no signal. It adds weight, but not flow. And when blood doesn't flow smoothly, every system slows down. I'm Dr. Rachel Ross, a board-certified urologist, and I want to be very clear with you. This isn't aging. This isn't your fault. And it doesn't mean your body is failing. After 50, your cells lose electrical charge. Your blood vessels lose elasticity. And plain water can no longer do the job alone. You can drink all day and still feel depleted at the cellular level. What your body is missing isn't more water. It's the minerals that tell water what to do. And once you restore that signal, blood flow, energy, and stability can return far faster than most men expect, because time just wears the body out. But that's not what's really happening. What's happening is quieter and more mechanical than most people realize. After 50, your body doesn't just lose strength. It loses signal. Every cell in your body runs on tiny electrical charges. That electricity tells muscles when to relax, blood vessels when to open, and blood when to move smoothly instead of dragging. When you were younger, that system worked automatically. You drank water. Your cells pulled it in. Your blood stayed fluid. Your vessels stayed flexible. But with age, 3 things change. First, your cells lose electrical charge. Minerals slowly decline. The membrane around each cell becomes less responsive. Water hits the cell and can't get inside, so it stays outside and gets flushed away. That's how you can be hydrated on paper, but still dehydrated where it matters most. Second, your blood vessels lose elasticity. They don't open and close smoothly anymore. They become stiff, tense, less responsive to signals. Blood doesn't glide. It pushes. Imagine water trying to move through an old rigid pipe. Same water, same pressure, very different flow. Third, blood itself changes. When hydration doesn't reach the cells, blood becomes thicker, slower, more resistant. Not dangerously thick, just thick enough to reduce efficiency. Less oxygen delivered, less nutrients reaching tissues, slower recovery, colder extremities, weaker circulation everywhere, including the areas men care about most, even if they don't say it out loud. This is why drinking more plain water often makes no difference, because water alone does not restore charge. It does not soften vessels, and it does not fix cellular communication. Blood flow is not just about volume. It's about conductivity and flexibility, electricity plus elasticity. Without those two, hydration becomes passive. You're filling the tank, but the engine isn't firing. And that's the mistake most men make. They keep adding water, when what their body is really asking for is the signal that tells water how to work. The good news is this: you don't need extreme measures. You don't need medication to start restoring flow. You need the right minerals to bring electricity back to your cells and softness back to your vessels. And once that happens, blood flow doesn't need to be forced. It returns naturally. Now that you understand the real problem, loss of signal, loss of elasticity, loss of flow, let's talk about the solution. Because restoring blood flow after 50 is not about forcing your body to work harder. It's about giving it back, what time slowly removed. And that starts with minerals. Not dozens of them, not complicated formulas, just 4 specific minerals that work together like a system. Each one does something different, and when they're combined correctly, water stops being passive and starts doing real work again. Let's go through them one by one. 1. Magnesium, the relaxation signal. If there's one mineral I consider foundational for men over 50, it's magnesium. I call it the relaxation signal because magnesium tells muscles, nerves, And most importantly, blood vessels. When to let go. Every artery in your body has a layer of smooth muscle around it. That muscle tightens and relaxes all day long. To control blood flow, calcium tells those muscles to contract. Magnesium tells them to release. When magnesium levels are healthy, your vessels open smoothly. Blood flows quietly and efficiently. But after 50, magnesium levels drop. Absorption declines. Stress burns through it faster. And when magnesium is low, calcium dominates. That means vessels stay slightly tense, not blocked, not diseased, just tight enough to slow everything down. Blood pressure creeps up. Circulation feels sluggish. Hands and feet feel colder. Recovery takes longer. This tightness doesn't just affect your shoulders or back. It happens inside your arteries. That's why restoring magnesium often leads to noticeable changes first. Men tell me they sleep deeper, wake up calmer, feel less stiff in the morning. Because magnesium doesn't stimulate, it restores balance. When blood vessels relax, flow improves without force. And that's how real circulation comes back. 2. Potassium, the balancer that holds water in place. Once vessels are relaxed, the next issue is retention, because hydration doesn't help. If water can't stay inside the cell, that's where potassium comes in. Potassium is the mineral that keeps fluid where it belongs, inside your cells. Sodium helps water enter. Potassium helps keep it there. Together, they regulate cell pressure, nerve signals, and heart rhythm. But here's what most men don't realize. Nearly 90% of older adults don't get enough potassium. And after 50, the body becomes less efficient at holding onto it. When potassium is low, cells leak water. You drink, you absorb, and then you lose it again. That's why some men feel thirsty, even when they drink all day. Low potassium also affects blood flow directly. When cells lose pressure, blood vessels lose tone. Heart rhythm becomes less efficient. Circulation loses its smooth rhythm. Restoring potassium helps stabilize that system. Men often notice steadier energy, less dizziness when standing, fewer muscle cramps, better endurance through the day. Because potassium doesn't hype you up. It keeps the system balanced. And balance is what allows flow to stay consistent. 3. Boron, the hidden signal amplifier, new. This is where things get interesting, because boron is one of the most overlooked minerals in men's health, yet it plays a powerful role in how your body uses other signals. Boron doesn't work loudly. It works intelligently. Its main job is to amplify. It helps the body use magnesium more efficiently. It supports vitamin D function. And most importantly for men over 50, it enhances nitric oxide signaling and supports healthy testosterone activity. Nitric oxide is the molecule that tells blood vessels to open. You've probably heard of it, but what most men don't know is that nitric oxide doesn't work well without the right mineral environment. Boron helps stabilize that environment. Studies show that even small amounts of boron can improve nitric oxide availability and support free testosterone levels, not by forcing production, but by reducing waste and improving efficiency. That's why boron is so effective. In trace amounts, men who restore boron often describe subtle but important changes: better vascular response, improved firmness and warmth, more stable drive and motivation, not spikes, not surges, just a return to responsiveness. That's the power of a signal amplifier. 4. Silica, silicon, the elasticity restorer, new. Now let's talk about something almost no one connects to blood flow: elasticity. Because blood flow isn't just about opening vessels, it's about how well they move. Young blood vessels are elastic. They expand easily, then return to shape. With age, vessels stiffen. Collagen breaks down. Structural proteins weaken. The vessel wall becomes rigid. That stiffness is one of the biggest reasons circulation feels heavy after 50. Silica, also known as silicon, is essential for maintaining connective tissue. It supports collagen formation, strengthens vessel walls, and improves flexibility. Think of silica as the mineral that keeps your vessels young in behavior, even if not in age. When silica levels are supported, arteries respond faster, pulse pressure improves, blood flows with less resistance. Men don't always feel this immediately, but over time, circulation feels smoother, blood pressure stabilizes, endurance improves. Silica works best at night. When repair happens, it doesn't stimulate, it restores structure, and structure determines function. How these four work together. Here's the key. These minerals are not isolated fixes. They form a system. Magnesium relaxes vessels. Potassium stabilizes hydration. Boron amplifies signaling. Silica restores elasticity. One opens, one holds, one signals, one strengthens. Together, they turn plain water into functional hydration. Not just liquid, but communication. And when communication returns, blood flow doesn't need to be forced. It resumes naturally. In the next part, I'll show you exactly how to use these minerals in a simple daily routine that fits real life. No extremes, no complicated timing, just consistency. And that's where the real transformation begins. Now, let's make this practical, because information doesn't change your body. Habits do. The goal here is not to overload your system, not to chase numbers, not to turn hydration into a full-time job. The goal is to give your body a steady, reliable signal that it can respond to every single day. That's how circulation improves after 50. Quietly, consistently, without forcing. Here's the simplest way I recommend doing that. Morning, open the system. Your morning is about one thing: opening flow. After sleep, your blood is thicker. Your vessels are less responsive. Your cells are slightly dehydrated. That's normal. So the first glass of the day should be about relaxation and signal. Plain water alone won't do that anymore. This is where magnesium comes in, paired with a trace amount of boron. Magnesium helps blood vessels relax. Boron helps amplify the signal. That tells them to open. You don't need large amounts. This is not about stimulation. It's about reminding your system how to switch on smoothly. Men who do this consistently often notice calmer mornings, less stiffness, and a more stable sense of energy, without relying on caffeine right away. This is not a jolt. It's a gentle ignition. Midday, hold and stabilize. The middle of the day is where most men lose momentum. Energy dips. Focus fades. Hydration feels like it disappears. That's usually not because you need more water. It's because your cells can't hold it. This is where potassium matters. Potassium helps water stay inside the cell, where it can actually do its job. It also stabilizes nerve signals and heart rhythm. When potassium is supported, men often describe feeling more even, less up and down, less drained by the afternoon. You're not pushing energy. You're preventing leaks. This is especially helpful if you're active, sweat more, or feel lightheaded when standing up. Midday hydration with potassium keeps the system balanced, so circulation stays smooth instead of choppy. Evening restores structure. The evening is not about energy. It's about repair. This is when your body rebuilds. Blood vessels, connective tissue, and the structural integrity of circulation. That's why silica works best here. Silica supports collagen and the elasticity of vessel walls. It doesn't act fast. It acts deep. Over time, this helps blood vessels respond better, expand more naturally, and reduce resistance. Men don't always feel silica right away. What they notice instead is smoother circulation over weeks, better endurance, and more comfortable movement, paired with sleep. This is when real changes lock in. Why this routine works. Notice what we're not doing. We're not stacking everything at once. We're not chasing quick hits. We're not overwhelming digestion. Each part of the day has a clear purpose. Morning opens flow. Midday holds balance. Evening restores structure. That rhythm matches your biology. And when your body gets consistent signals, it adapts. Blood flow improves. not because you force it, but because resistance disappears. That's how men over 50 get their circulation back without fighting their own system. In the next part, I'll walk you through what most men notice, week by week, once this routine becomes consistent, because the changes don't arrive all at once. They arrive in stages, and understanding those stages helps you stick with it long enough to see real results. This is the part most men are curious about. Not what to take, but what to expect, because real change doesn't arrive overnight. It shows up quietly in stages. During the first week, many men notice subtle shifts. Mornings feel a little lighter, less stiffness when you stand up. Hands and feet feel warmer. Your body seems to wake up faster. Not dramatic, just different. By the second week, energy starts holding steady longer. That mid-afternoon dip doesn't hit as hard. You recover faster from physical effort. Your focus feels more consistent. Not sharp spikes, but smooth clarity. Circulation begins to feel reliable, instead of unpredictable. By weeks 3 to 4, this is when the deeper changes settle in. Sleep improves. You wake up feeling restored, not heavy or drained. Blood flow feels smoother throughout the day. Your body responds faster to movement. Endurance improves without pushing harder. And for many men, there's a quiet return of confidence. Not the loud kind, the grounded kind. Because when your circulation is working, your body feels safe again. That sense of internal stability shows up in posture, in movement, in how you carry yourself. This isn't about chasing youth. It's about restoring function. And once function returns, the body often surprises you with how much strength was waiting underneath. In the final part, I'll bring everything together and show you how to make this last, because the real goal isn't a temporary boost. It's building a system your body can rely on for years to come. Let's bring this together. After 50, drinking more water isn't the answer anymore. What your body needs is water with direction. Magnesium to relax flow. Potassium to hold balance. Boron to amplify signal. Silica to restore elasticity. For minerals. One system. You're not forcing circulation. You're removing resistance. And when resistance disappears, blood flow returns naturally. So start simple. Choose one small change. Stick with it consistently. Let your body respond in its own time. If this made sense to you, leave a comment below and tell me which mineral surprised you most. Subscribe if you want more science-based guidance for men over 50 who want to stay strong without extremes. And in the next video, I'll show you one quiet nighttime habit that helps lock these benefits in while you sleep, because your best years aren't behind you. They're waiting for your body to work the way it was designed to.